get that.
Okay. Hello, I want to call the Hopkinton Town Council meeting of December 19th, 2016 to order with a moment of silent meditation and salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on our agenda is the council appointments to the various boards and commissions. Typically, the council president has the liaison, personnel liaison, because of the privacy issues typically. So that's under me. I assume everybody, I'll go down the list here of appointments for council representatives. I assume everybody wants to keep their same board for commission. Who's got affordable housing? That's something. Yeah. Animal control. Was that Barbara?
I think I'll do that. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Conservation. David. Historic district. That's David. Juvenile hearing.
I think we just not because we can't really.
Oh, that's true.
We can't do anything with it.
Land trust. Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
Planning.
I have that.
Okay. Police.
I have
So
that.
rec. Town.
Yeah.
And zoning board review. Okay. Okay. Great. Consider and vote to provide approbation for the town clerk's appointment of Lorraine Rhode as deputy town clerk to March 2017.
So moved. Second.
Motion made second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, consent agenda. Approve the town council meeting minutes of December 5th, 2016. Town council meeting minutes of November 21st, 2016. Accept the following monthly financial activity report. Town clerk, approve refunds due to overpayments submitted by the tax collector. Approve abatement because vehicle was stolen submitted by the tax assessor.
I'd like to approve November 21st.
Okay.
After we approve the town council meeting minutes of December 5th, accept the following monthly financial activity report. Town clerk, approve refunds due to overpayments submitted by the tax collector and approve the abatement because vehicle was stolen submitted by the tax assessor.
Second.
Motion made second. I have to abstain from the auto tax, or I don't have to because I read it. Okay, motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I'd like to go on 21st. I have a question on page 12. One line from the bottom. As a citizen of Hopkinton, she wanted to bring the ROQN Council's attention. I don't know what it is.
How many things?
Could be.
Let's see how we're supposed to be.
ROQN.
No, I know, but what is it supposed to be?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think it's just town. I think it should be town.
Sounds reasonable.
Just,
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it.
I've got a couple, Frank.
Yep, same minutes.
Same minutes, yes.
Yep, okay.
Page 11, going back one, two, three, four, five, fifth line from the bottom, the line that starts, that is being used to fund. It shouldn't say to fund, it should just say to fund. I would think.
Duplicate wording.
On page 9, right where it says, the fourth line down, it says Councilor Thompson asked everything would be about the current status. Okay. Okay, page 2. This is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, 5 lines down from the top of page 2. Mr. Yep, acknowledged this should be his.
Yes.
Yep, that's it.
A motion to approve the town council meeting minutes of November 21st, 2016 with changes.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. First public forum. Anyone out there wishing to be heard tonight? Yes, sir. Please come to the podium.
Is this working all right? My name's Ken Peralt. I live on 10 Chase Hill Road. I have a traffic concern Since Dean Supply opened up on Chase Hill, there's probably a minimum from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, 20 to 30, maybe more than that, trailer trucks. The big issue is not speed. Most of them are pretty good. There's a few cowboys. What I'd like to suggest to the town council, if I've seen other towns do it, they'll take a secondary road like Chase Hill and put a center line on it. I've talked to a few people that go on Chase Hill and they get a rude awakening when they see a trailer truck coming at them in the middle of the road. Now I understand these trailer trucks take up a lot of room, but maybe the line would give them some sort of impulse to stay one side or the other. Now I realize these trucks, but some of them are probably 60 feet long plus.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I don't know what you could do at the intersection of 3 and Chase Hill. When they go south, it's not a major issue. But when they go north towards the village, they have to hug the far left side and turn right so they can miss the guardrail and pole. I suggested to somebody a long time ago, what they should do is come back on Chase Hill and make an alternative right. Maybe, I don't know who owns that property, but it's part of Chase Hill. I mean, a church or something that owns it, I'm not sure. But the problem is, when those trucks come out, they take up all of Route 3, and people are flying on Route 3. Maybe not through the village, no. I mean, most of the time I get behind somebody who's doing the 25, so. But coming over that bridge, it's a hazard situation, so. I don't know what else you could do, but I think a line would help. I know I'm brought up and raised in Richmond, the Beaver River Road, and then now they have a center line to full into the road, and I think it does make a difference. I've seen people come over, I live right across from the cemetery near Camoli Granite, and I've seen people come over that little knoll by the cemetery, right in the middle of the road. I'm surprised there isn't more accidents, so.
Yeah, we'll check it out. We'll have the police chief, Bill Gary, the manager, check it out. We'll figure out what we can and can't do, I guess, from.
Well, I would think a center line would be.
Yeah, it might solve it.
I'm not selling the sit down Dean Supply, that's not right. And most of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
That's all.
But thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Okay,
Can
appreciate
I
it.
ask you a question?
Yes.
Just some more information. Are you talking about the trailer trucks that are parked in that area where the road, 216, when Chase Hill comes out? At the end of the street?
No,
You're just
Route
talking about
3.
them traveling?
No, we just started Route 3.
Just Route 3, nothing about
Route
216?
3 on the 216,
Dean warehousing, the new.
where Gary was,
Yeah.
that's what we started.
Sometimes there's an issue with Camoli Granite. When he gets granite in, that truck is a trailer truck, and he parks as close as he can to Camoli. But it does take up some of Chase Hill, and that causes an issue. But usually that truck is only there for 15, 20 minutes.
Okay. And I think, Chief, there's a sign that says no through trucks.
I haven't heard it.
Yeah, there is from, we used to call it Steve Mack's Corn, that real shop. Yeah, there's no through trucks through there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Other than that,
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Anyone else? Anything you heard? Okay. Next on the council president report, I have 2 items. First is a school choice resolution or proclamation. I was asked to kind of sponsor this, I guess, on behalf of the town. I don't know if you guys had a chance to kind of read it. It seems pretty generic. 33 governors, I guess, in the country have sponsored it. The U.S. Senate has unanimously passed a bipartisan resolution recognizing National School Choice Week. Our week would be January 22nd to 28th in 2017. Just looking for like a consensus, I guess, to say, hey, yeah, it's okay to send out, or... Yes?
I actually took a look at it, and I'm not in favor of it. Money that goes to school choice really does take away from public schools, and we have enough problems with money on public schools. Also, I looked at the cities and councils issuing school choice week proclamation in 2016. There isn't any Rhode Island on here at all. And they are very specific areas. There's not a lot, even in New England, at So I thought, I just don't want to jump onto
We
that.
can't be the first one to offer.
Sure he can, absolutely, except I.
Anyway.
So
All right,
anyway,
well,
I'm not for the
It's just,
proclamation.
you know, it's a pretty generic, you
Yes.
know, it's all about choice. I think when you have choice, the competitiveness comes into play, the cost usually comes down.
But not
you know,
for
I
public
think-
schools, it goes up.
Well, at least, you know, you have a choice. Like I said, I think if any parent was in here, other than us as parents, I think choice is everything for a parent that wants to educate the kids, so.
I
Anyway,
agree.
just a thought.
Just, I'm with Barbara on that. I noticed that all the states are all in the Midwest and out further. I think there's 2 in New York, none in Connecticut, none in Rhode Island. I think there's only 1 in Massachusetts. The problem is we spend a lot of money on public schools. And if we divert those funds, or the state diversifies those funds to charter schools or whatever, and also, charter schools have the ability to pick and choose, I believe, who they accept. So that would leave the public school system with the kids with like the RISE or the special needs students. They don't take those students, which are the highest cost to the residents. So taking all of that into account of diverting the funds, these charter schools and stuff being able to accept. And I mean, people still have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to send your
Well, that's
kids
all
to-
this is celebrating, it's just to have that ability to make a choice.
well,
Let's
they
get
have-
into the.
they haven't, I understand it, but it comes, with everything comes, every action comes with reaction. There's nothing saying that they can't send their children to a charter school or a private school, stuff like that. My concern is the funding that is associated with that, so I would be on board with Barbara.
I wanted to also say, we also have one of the highest performing schools in the state.
Yeah, we have a great school.
I see.
This is not about charity,
I-
this is just about choices.
It is about school.
School
and
choice.
I understand that, Frank, but we are talking about schools in Hopkinton, which is charitable, and it is something for Hopkinton. And I think it is not reasonable because we have spent already 75% of our budget on school, and we really get to spend even more.
I think that's not the intent of this proclamation, but I disagree, but Sylvia?
Yeah, well, I'm in favor of school choice, period. And that we don't want to do a proclamation. I understand the problems about that. But it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about school choice, and there are many choices, and parents should have choice. Anyway, but as far as the proclamation is concerned, I mean, if it wants to get done, I'm okay with it. If we've got 3 people who really don't want it, I'm still in favor of school choice.
Yeah, me too. David, what say you?
Well, I think charter schools are really nice. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for certain kids that wouldn't get that opportunity for that kind of education. I think the big stink about charter schools these days is promoted by unions, because the charter school teachers normally aren't union, or almost always aren't, and the mayoral schools the same way, aren't union affiliated, and the unions don't like that. So, and I don't like the idea of them putting up a squawk about something I think is really a beneficial educational opportunity for certain inner city kids especially. It does, there's no doubt about it, it does hurt public schools in the sense that we still have to have the same number of classrooms, and we have to have the same number of programs for fewer kids. Now the other kids are going to charter schools. I don't know if we need a proclamation, to be honest with you. I think it might be, you know, it's a little bit too much. It's one of those weeks that's not celebrated and nobody gets the day off.
We're not looking for day off.
No, that's
As
right.
much as we'd like to have
It's
it.
just one of those nice things that people do. I don't think it's a big deal, but,
Well, you're the tie, David, so either.
oh, good.
So you have to make a decision. And again, just to the point of decision, not decision, in terms of having a choice,
Yeah,
we had, Charo had their teacher conferences, so I went to all Ryan's teachers, and I was surprised at how large the classes were. 28, 30, I'm like, really? What is going on? I mean, thankfully, he's my son can kind of fit in with any crowd in any size classroom, but there are other children that really can't. They don't really do well with large classes, and we have a neighbor that goes to a charter school for that reason, because they just don't fit in a large setting like that. So, you know, it just, for me, it's just all about giving every family an opportunity to make a choice. If it doesn't fit, obviously I know there's financial impacts. I'm just talking about the choices, and I think it's important that each parent make their own choice or have that ability to make that choice. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to cost the taxpayers anything if we approve this proclamation, so I'll go along with the proclamation.
Yeah, I'd also like to say that by the union NEA contract, they cannot have more than 25 students in the classroom by contract, so they don't have 28 or more.
Well, they
And
do.
no,
Yes,
they
they do.
can't.
Cherville?
They
In
do.
Cherville.
I was with Ryan's 6
It
teachers.
doesn't matter if other people came in because they couldn't come in at another time. You don't know if they all are in the same classroom. By union rules, they cannot have more than 25. And many of the classrooms are under
No.
25.
Not Ryan's classes, Barbara, but
It's
all
a
6 of his
union.
teachers have more than
It's
25.
NEA union
Oh, that's great.
regulations, so they can't have.
NEA
I'm surprised.
apparently doesn't know what's going on in China.
They do now.
I wasn't too happy about it. Anyway, that's a story for another day.
All right, let's go with the proclamation.
Okay, thank you very
Move
much.
that we adopt the Hopkinton proclamation for school choice.
Second.
Motion been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Not in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next, Billy Gilman. I don't know if you guys ever watched The Voice
Yeah.
television show.
Everyone in Rhode Island,
He was on Tara Granahan
especially
today.
Hopkinton.
Yeah, right, when I was riding up here today, and anyway, I want to say to Billy, I wish him the best of luck. I hope he gets a lot of record contracts, and
Yep.
I did Hopkinton proud, and I really loved watching him, and I voted for him often on my app, my voice app. So
Absolutely.
thanks, Billy, and good luck. Town manager report, Bill McGarry.
Thank you. During December, we began the process of obtaining the FY18 annual goals and the monthly goals for 2019 to 2021 from the individual department heads. We've scheduled a staff meeting for January 4th to discuss these submitted goals, which need to be practical, attainable, affordable, and measurable. These goals provide direction from the department heads as to which goals are most important to them, and also they provide a nice introductory lead into the next budgetary process. And we plan to present those to the council for consideration at their January, at the second meeting in January. Hopkinton Hill Road, December 13th, council VP Tom Buck, Jim Lampier, Tim Teff, Dave Caswell, and I met with Steve Cabral, of Horseman Engineering, the town's engineer, as he inspected certain lots up there for some drainage work that was performed by the developer's engineer on several lots of the development, to determine whether or not it satisfied the provisions and the comments enumerated in Steve Cabral's November 7th memorandum, and to ensure that no water or sediments flow from any of the lots onto Hopkinton Hill Road. And that's currently a work in process at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bill. Any questions for Bill, guys? Okay. Next, under old business, Barbara requested the 1904 Ashway Elementary School future plan be put on.
Thank you.
Barbara.
Yeah, thank you. We discussed the 1904 building during this last year, because we have now had it vacant for almost 5 years. So we need to do something with it. The 1904 building is a valuable and it's a crucial part of the history of Hopkinton. It is well-loved, well-remembered, and cherished by any number of our citizens. I believe it's time to memorialize the building, the students and the teachers, the lives it has touched, before any untoward problems may occur. Therefore, with Tom Buck, I was talking to him about organizing an oral and eventually a video documentation of the people in the building. Hopkinton Historic Association will assist with gathering of photographs, memorabilia, letters that can be either the originals or copies that can be dated and the persons identified or recognized if at all possible. After so many years, we wish to speak with the citizens about their memories and stories of the school building, personnel, or students that we can tape and keep as an oral history of the town. History is today, it's not just decades past, and we need to remember that there is no safety in stagnation. We need to do something before there's any damage. And the longer we wait, the fewer memories we can retain from the earliest years of the building. Also, if there are parts of this building we need to rescue, it is better done sooner than later. Particularly, for example, Mr. Prescott was mentioning is the weather vane on the cupola is one big piece of brass that would be really wonderful to take down and use in the possibly town chambers, or doors, doorknobs, light fixtures, wood, but whatever you want to be able to.
Radiators.
I don't know if we use the radiators.
Oh, they're beautiful.
But they are radiators.
Oh, yes.
But so we really want to start an oral history of it so that we don't lose it, especially memories like of World War I, World War II, what happened to the students, the teachers, the kids that went there, to memorialize this building. Tom Buck had talked to me about possibly doing a videography or a video of it. And I didn't know if Tom wanted to say anything about that.
No, this is something that I started my first year back on the council, when I found out that the previous council had voted to tear down the building. I contacted a couple of people. I'm still waiting for another lady to contact me back concerning doing a documentary for PBS on that. I've got a couple phone calls into her again. There is a gentleman I spoke to in Barrington who does PBS shows, but I'm trying to find somebody local who's close by that can talk to the local residents. I mean, to have him. Oh, Barbara. Oh.
You know who you want to ask? Lori.
Lori Rhode, yeah,
Ask her.
she is going to help.
Yeah.
I don't mean to ask her specifically who might be able to do this PBS.
Yeah.
You know, she has such an interest in it.
Yeah, well, we have somebody, and we're not sure whether she's out of town or out doing something. I left calls at URI twice. I'll give her a call again tomorrow to find out if she can try to contact her again. We have tried to think outside the box. I mean, we had a big hoo-ha here from local residents who don't want it done for any other reason, for anything other than a school, and obviously that's not going to transpire. So this has been a goal of mine. I made my peace back then that the building is coming down, and I try to get as much to try to. There's another gentleman too that I'm trying to get to pay for it, who offered to put some money into the building when we were looking at restoring it. And I'm waiting for that information too, because I don't know what it's going to cost. But so, we were going to put his name on the school if we could get it redone, because that was a substantial amount of money. So if I can talk to him, I know he was ill the last couple of times I tried to talk to him.
Yeah, he's had a stroke.
Oh, he did? Okay.
But he's better.
Oh, he
I mean,
is?
he's
Okay.
had a few issues.
You can write a check, right?
Well, yeah, he can talk to you with the phone at length about the
Okay,
school. Yeah.
all right. I will do that then, and try him as a secondary.
But it's trying to get a documentation of the building, so it's documented, so whatever you end up doing in the next 5 or 10 years, you'll have some documentation of the building as a living entity for Hopkinton and for Ashwood. Hopkinton Historic, Richard Prescott is here, will be able to help. I will be doing as well. Lori will be able to help us more in the following year. But she's going to get together with a list of questions we can ask people, and we'd like to be able to tape them and get them on discs. So we have an oral history and the stories of the building. Because then we can keep it before anything occurs. I watch in Ashaway, we have Potter Hill, the buildings at Potter Hill Dam, and they just fell apart. I mean, it's like 20 or 30 years, and those were stone buildings and they're a disaster, and this is a wood building. So we want to really save what we can for the town and for the history and the memories of the town people. In the big four for town area at least, but to be able to keep those so those can go in the vault and we'll have that history. Because it's today, history now, not later. And both documented, both as a documentary, as well as oral history, memorabilia, letters. So if anyone in the public has those, if they can call Lisa, they can call me, they can call Tom. We will take a list of people's names and make sure we can talk to them and get those histories.
A couple of things too. You should also ask for photographs,
From the country.
because I'm sure that there's photographs going all the way back. People had cameras back then.
I have a picture of the original school.
Yeah, so that's it. Or postcard, it might have been a postcard of the school. Might also want to check, if it was built in 1904, you might want to check the Westerly Sun. And I'm sure
Yeah, the archives.
the archives, yeah. No, the archives, I worked there.
The school archives.
And the archives are big bundles of paper, and I'm not too sure whether they actually, how the archives, how well they are. But it's quite possible you might find the edition of the paper that had maybe a photograph or two and a write-up about when the school was dedicated. I don't think the school is old enough for a cornerstone, but I'm not sure about that. I'm not too sure whether there's a cornerstone in there. If there is, that'd be very interesting. That'd be a great piece of okay. So yeah, those are the things that you should also think about.
Good.
Yeah, I'll give you a hint too, Robert, if you want that.
Yeah, I love it, thank you.
Oh, glass plates, by the way, glass plates are from the library. There might be some glass plate photographs of the school up there.
Well, when you talked about the paper, the Westerly, what we used to have to do back in the 90s when we went to look things up, is we just went to the library and some microfiche was back, way back. So that's where we
That
were.
would be good, yeah.
So I don't know, I assume that's still available. Maybe they changed it at the library, but that's what I used to end
Down
up
the Wesley
with.
Library?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, wow, good for them, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, but I think that'll move the building forward, so at least it's not sitting there doing nothing. We're doing something with it,
Sure.
which I think will be a benefit.
All right, thanks, Barbara. Okay, first on the new business is to discuss, consider, and vote to award a bid for the completion of 8 dam emergency action plans in the amount of $25,000 to EA Engineering, Science, and Technology of Warwick, Rhode Island, funded through a $25,000 fiscal year 2016 State Homeland Security Grant. Bill.
Thank you. On Sunday, November 13th, an advertisement was placed in the Providence Journal for consulting engineering services for the completion of 8 dam emergency action plans. The town had received a $25,000 grant from the State Homeland Security to complete these EAPs. Went out for competitive bidding. The town received 2 bids, one from EA Engineering in the amount of $27,211. The second was from Parry Corporation in the amount of $28,750. Since the grant amount was for $25,000 and the low bid was $27,211, I asked the planner, Jim Lanfear, to contact EA Engineering to negotiate the price. He was successful, and EA Engineering agreed to complete the project for the amount of the grant, $25,000.
I'd like to make a motion of the Hopkinton Town Council award a bid for completion of the 8 dam emergency action plans in the amount of $25,000 to EA Engineering, Science, and Technology Inc. of Warwick, Rhode Island, funded through a $25,000 fiscal year 2016 State Homeland Security Grant.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion made second. Any further discussion, folks?
Yeah, I'd like to just ask a question. Bill, what would this entail, in a nutshell? I don't know what to read here, because this is a lot of reading to do it. What are they actually going to do? We're going to somehow notify the people below the dams that, this is what's going to happen if the dam breaches?
I think I'll defer to Ron.
Just so people know what's going on.
Good evening, everyone. What the consultant is going to do is they'll do a site visit for each of these 8 specific dams. It's not really an engineering study. They're going to take pictures, the general condition of it. Part of it is inundation mapping, which is already made available by the state. They're going to put it on maps to show what structures or roads would be affected if a dam breached. They'll make a list of all the properties that could potentially be damaged, or businesses. We're also going to take the mapping shape file and put it into our code system so we can send messages out to those specific areas. So if the Yahoo Dam broke, it would automatically notify the people in that zone. It's basically also a notifications flow chart, so we can notify downstream emergency services, and that's pretty much it. It's mostly a notification, planning, you know, what to do if something happens, type of thing.
Ron, a couple of questions. Blue Pond is not much of a pond anymore. I mean, and that's one of the dams that I saw on this.
Yeah, DEM still classifies that. I brought that to their attention, and they're aware of it because they inspected it when it happened, but it's still a significant hazard classification through them,
So
so.
I can't imagine what could happen. I mean, there's there's about 3 tablespoons of water in that pond now.
Yeah.
So that it's
I'm not the expert,
so
so,
that's one thing. The other thing is, Wyoming Dam, where I am, is not on that list. Is that classified as a Richmond dam? Is that right?
well, some of them are on the Richmond, Hopkinton border, but 3 of them are state-owned and they're responsible.
Oh,
I believe that one has already been done, actually by the consultant that we're picking,
Okay.
so they might have some familiarity with the town.
yeah.
But also to know that some of these dams, like the Yahoo, for example, they'll domino effect and affect others.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why we're required to have these dam plans, and I'm glad we got the grant after a couple of years of persistence, so I'm happy about that.
Good move. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Do you guys have any more questions for Ron? No, thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anything else, folks? Make a motion to adjourn in a second. No further discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Next is, under new business, discuss, consider, and vote to award a bid for the update of the town's hazardous mitigation plan in the amount of $18,750 to Vanass Engden Rustlin, Inc. of Providence, Rhode Island, funded through a $25,000 fiscal year 2016 state homeland security grant. Bill?
Thank you. Very similar on November 13th, and that was placed in the Journal for Consulting Services to update the town's hazardous mitigation plan. We were a recipient of a $25,000 grant from State Homeland Security to complete this plan. Went out for competitive bidding. December 7th, the town received 3 bids. The first was from VHP in the amount of $18,750. The second bid was received from Stuart Wallace in the amount of $16,875. And the third bid was received from Horsley Witten Group of Providence in the amount of $14,490. After reviewing the documents, EMA Director Ron McDonald, Planner Jim Lamphere, and Deputy Planning Clerk Sean Henry recommended the Town Council award this bid for the completion of the plan to VHP of Providence in the amount of $18,750.
Okay.
Motion that the Hopkinton Town Council award a bid for the completion of the town's hazard mitigation plan update in the amount of $18,750 to Vanass Engden Rustlin, Inc. of Providence, Rhode Island, funded through $25,000 fiscal year 2016 state homeland security grant.
Second.
Okay, motion made second. I have a quick question.
I have discussion. I have discussion too.
Okay.
It's just, you chose the highest bid. Is there a reason for that?
Jim?
The RFP that went out was a qualifications-based RFP, and in that RFP there was evaluation criteria, and the various criteria were weighted with points given to each one of the 5 major points. I graded them, Ron McDonald graded them, and Sean Henry graded them. And, in all 3 instances, VHB came out slightly ahead of Horsley Witten, who was a close second. You know, we 3 of us talked together as well as grading these, and we felt that we're all familiar with VHB's work. They actually did the debris management plan for the town of Hopkinton, which you'll be looking at pretty soon. So they're familiar with the town. I know them from, they've done a lot of work in Westerly, they've done a lot of comprehensive plan work. They do dam emergency action plans. They do all type of planning work throughout the state of Rhode Island. And I've seen their products, I know their top rate, and I'm very confident that we are going to get from them exactly what Ron is going to need to go out in the field and implement these plans. We're not going to be disappointed, so that's how we felt.
And Ron, do you agree with that?
Yeah, like Jim said, we all graded them separately. I actually went online today and looked at a couple ones that they've done throughout Rhode Island. They have a lot of work done in Rhode Island where Horsley Witten, they haven't had that much experience in Rhode Island, and the other company was from, I believe, West Virginia, and they really didn't have anything in Rhode Island. Like Jim said, VHB has a very good reputation, and their plans, you can tell, are very well developed. And I also spoke with Amy Grzybowski in Westerly. She's still the EMA director there. They're currently doing their hazard mitigation plan update, and she had a lot of good things to say about them. So
you're very comfortable with it?
Yeah, I think they're going to do a really good job.
Especially since you're dovetailing too.
Yeah, and like Jim said, they're doing the debris plan. They've also done some other work in and around town, so they're familiar. And they have a lot of plans they're doing right now throughout the state, so I think they have a lot of experience. They're a larger firm, so I think they can get it done on time and on budget.
Yes, Dave.
So, Jim, Scottish ancestry, do we get to keep the other $6,250 of the grant, or can we use it for something else?
No, the $6,250 is what the town will have to come up with in kind to match the $18,750.
Really?
So you want the bid to be higher, so less in kind from us?
No, I can't say we wanted the bid to be anything. I mean, we recommended the firm that was best
Oh, no,
qualified.
I know that.
But we
in
can,
theory, right?
well, we'll come up with a $6,250 after, through, we have to put a committee together, which will consist of the chief of police and director of public works and Ron and myself. And, that's gonna take hours of our time. So any hours of town personnel that we put, even preparing, reviewing the RFP, can all be put towards in-kind services, and that's how we match it. That's how we get the $18,750.
What am I missing here then? That if the bid had come in at $25,000, we wouldn't have to put anything up. Is that
No,
what you're
if
saying?
the bid came in at $25,000, we'd have to worry about putting up the $6,250 to pay for the $25,000. Because all we're getting from the state is $18,750.
But there was a max of $25,000?
It was a $25,000 grant.
Grant.
But
alone, but grant.
Well, it was an application. Yeah, I don't want to confuse you. It was an application for a $25,000 project.
Okay.
So we were given 75% of that
It
project.
wasn't something that they came forward with and said, here's $25,000, do what you want with it.
No.
Okay.
Ron's grant that he got for the dam thing, there's no match there. He got $25,000, so I didn't do as well.
Okay, good.
And these would dovetail really nicely.
Yes, good, thank you.
I just had one quick question for Bill. I just want to backtail to the emergency action plans for the dam. I noticed that the timeline was like June 1 for the, results, if we award it to that company, which is what we did tonight. And I'm wondering, I guess, do we have to be prepared budget-wise to, if it's a high-risk dam? Do you think we'd have to, the reason I'm asking is, our budget's due, finalize like 5/10, and that's June 1. I'm wondering if we're gonna have to need any appropriation at all for any of these high-risk dams this budget cycle, if they come back and say, whatever, just throwing it out there,
Sure.
so I don't know, maybe the
Just,
timeline.
maybe it'll make, I don't know if this will make you feel more comfortable. Maybe it makes you feel worse. I don't know, I'm not sure. But this issue with the dams and who's a high risk and blah, 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 they're the categories. I did a study back in the 1990s for the council and looked at all the dams because I happened to stumble upon this and find out that they're high risk and what does all that mean. Nothing's changed. Nothing. I mean, it's not as if a significant hazard went to high risk. They all pretty much stayed the same. The Yongo Dam has been repaired by the Boy Scout group. I mean, so I'm comfortable saying we don't have to put in any money into the budget to repair these dams.
Well, I'm just speaking out loud and saying, if it comes back and it's, there's two of these high-risk dams that are going to be evaluated by June 1, you know, what if they come back and say that, you know, they're in terrible shape? I'm just wondering what our liability might be.
Some are owned
for our
by
budget
town, most are owned by private entities.
Yeah, these aren't, like I said before, these aren't an engineering study, so they're not gonna be able to determine, it's not an inspection. High hazard dams, DEM inspects at a more frequent interval. They're responsible, their engineering and water section, whatever they call it, they're responsible to have an engineer come in and actually do a structural study. And that's how they determine their hazard classification. This is just an emergency plan. If something happens, what we're gonna do. So they're not gonna find, you know, they might see something that maybe look concerning and tell us, but we're not gonna be responsible for fixing any of them. Because I'm not even sure if we
We have
determined.
any of them, not sure.
Well, I don't think we even owned one. There was one that was in question.
So, Ron, I understand the study then is nothing more than downstream from the dam, not the dams themselves.
Correct, because if the dam breaches, what impacts it's gonna have, how to notify people in an emergency. It's not a full engineering study. Those are very expensive.
Good.
And I understand where that's coming from, because in 2010, when we had Blue Pond Dam break, it washed out, what was the name of that road?
Gotcha, Road.
Wasn't,
There was
And
a,
what's on the bridge on Route 3?
there was a street.
yeah, but there was a street that,
Marshall
comes
Driftway.
Way.
Oh,
What is it?
Marshall.
Yes.
That's it, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And they couldn't get through, and actually the fire department went up Canachet Road the other end, and were trying to cut through so they could get the people out. There was no emergency access, so that's basically, actually, they could probably take photos of the top and just look at the path of the water.
That's what they're gonna do.
I mean, that just took out all the way into Route 3 and the
Yeah.
95, I mean, that was,
Yes.
so basically, my understanding is that's what this is all about, is to where that water's gonna travel, what
Downstream.
damage it could do.
That's why
And
there's
how do
only
we-
have 3 tablespoons now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Blue Pond was awesome.
Oh,
That was probably the clearest water I know in Rhode Island.
Yeah, so that's all these plans are. It's only for emergency.
Yeah,
if something-
that's what I thought.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Okay, motion made and seconded. We have discussion, any further discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you. Last, under new business, discuss, consider, and vote to adopt a proclamation regarding the 75th anniversary of the Civil Air Patrol. Another proclamation.
Yes,
I was a member of the Civil Air Patrol, so auxiliary Air Force, and I had asked Lisa to postpone, because Tom had taken the last meeting, so I could vote on this, and it's a very good experience as a young boy. Yes, Lisa?
On the last paragraph, it states that we need inclusive dates for, so I don't know what you had in mind for that. So before it's adopted, if you could give me an idea of, do you want it the same week
As the school choice.
or
No.
No. maybe
Okay.
thinking of the date that they're founded on December 1.
Do that week.
Yeah, that'd be appropriate.
That'd be lovely.
Okay.
We're all still here.
Oh, flyway.
We're all still here. Yes, that'd be great.
Okay, good.
Okay, thanks. Actually, did you?
He made a motion and I did the second.
Okay.
It was kind of quiet.
Okay, all right. Motion made second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're
Aye.
We have
Thank
to
you.
do that for you.
Get those wings up.
Boards and commissions. Number one, accept the resignation of Tom Thompson from the Land Trust.
Oh.
I don't like that. No. Where is
I
it?
make a motion to accept the resignation of Tom Thompson from the land trust with so much regret.
He's been there for a long
He's been
time.
there for a long time.
Right from the beginning.
Wonderful.
I'll second that regret.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Take him on, Tom.
Great guy.
Motion made and seconded, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Number two, consider reappointment to the zoning board of review. That's for Ron. Yeah, I get a call from Sylvia. We want to just, there's one quick thing we want to check into. So we want to just table that to the next meeting.
Okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right, great. Last public forum. Anyone wishing to be heard? Having heard none? Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Yes, yes.
Everyone.